And another thing I liked about this episode of Drag Race.
Jerk each other off later.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is so...
Off to a excellent start.
And this is So I'm watching RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 6, Episode 11?
I don't know.
12.
I didn't pull it up this time. We're about to go out to dinner. We're in
the one before the finale. So the game within a game has already happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's Rachel's birthday. We've been drinking. We have dinner reservations. So
episode 11, the charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent monologues.
Oh yeah. No, it was fine. So we open up with the finish of last week's episode with Who is the Queen coming back. It was Eureka. That's fine.
I feel a lot of different ways about it. About Eureka coming back. I love Eureka.
I do too. If Silky wasn't going to be the one to come back, and I'm so happy for her. Yeah. I love that she got that. I'm just a straight fan now.
But I know exactly what you're going to say. If it wasn't going to be her to come back, then you shouldn't have let her win 7 lip syncs in a row.
It should have been like Jan should have won.
Yeah,
hers. Because I mean, we're like fine Jan fans, but I think
like this much of a Jan apologist. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think she should have won hers if Silky wasn't, because by the end it was kind of trajectory. I think that Silky was. I'm not even going to go as far as to say coasting, but
no, but it was
just the excitement of
And I love Eureka. I'm glad she got to stick around. I'm glad that she's in the top 4 now. But at the same time, it was like, well, then what was the point of Silky going so far just to bring back the bitch from last week?
A symbolic redemption, I guess. I don't know. Especially based on this episode, I think that Ru and or the producers are really engineering, which is fine. It's reality TV. But
this season feels more engineered than any of the other seasons I've watched so far.
Well, I disagree with that, but...
Which do you think?
I think there was lots of riggery in, like, season 11, and there's been lots of stuff. I think we would feel that way because you're more immersed in it now than you've ever been.
Sure, that could be.
So I think you're more hip to a lot of the machinations and ways that, like, the first season or two you were just watching.
Yeah.
But at this point, I mean, you've seen like 6 seasons, so
like this year.
But so just to go through, we had a mini challenge. It was cute. It was Pride for some reason, which is funny because this show was airing during Pride. But it was Levi's mini challenge. Yeah. Kylie won. She won a bunch of hideous Levi's Pride. It wasn't just Levi's. She made
the cutest outfit.
Well, she did. Yeah, the rest of them were like playing, and she was like, "Oh no, I don't do ugly." Yeah. So, but I kind of wish she had just won money or even just Levi's, but she won the entire Levi's Pride line.
Yeah,
and I was like,
"Oh, good."
Trinity was butthurt.
So butthurt.
This entire episode.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I get it. We've said several times that, I would even go as far as to say that I'm a big Trinity fan. I like Trinity. She just was never my queen. She was never the one. We were talking about it a little bit before we were recording, and I was like, I really like Trinity. I was like, but I think she's a little pageanty for my style.
Same.
Like, I like a little bit more. Kylie and Raja are my favorites at this point. So.
Which Raja can go pageanty, but it's not her default.
Raja just has this like spunkiness. And she's so tall and thin and beautiful, and the big eyes, and she's just got this like Goldie Hawn, Lonnie Anderson.
I get that. I get that for sure. Yeah.
This look, especially. We'll get to it. So basically, they did the cunt monologues. It was fine. I think that. It was an interesting challenge, and I think if you're trying to be a well-rounded performer, you need to be able to do sort of a one-man show, one-woman show type of a thing. None of them were bad. However, basically, Eureka won, and this is the riggery that I was talking about, because Eureka did fine.
Yeah.
to me, with this challenge, Ginger won.
Yeah. That's the thing is like Ginger, it is Ginger's crown to lose at this point. I would prefer if Raja or Kylie won, I think, because I find them slightly more interesting as performers. But this is Ginger's competition to lose at this point. And I just like, there have been moments where I thought someone else should have wanted something that Ginger won, but it's also like,
each win, I sort of, like, I think if I were to go through and rank them my way, I think we would be dealing with the same numbers of wins.
Yeah.
But I would be swapping challenges. So if you ask me, Ginger's the only one who actually nailed this challenge.
100%.
I think Kylie came a very close second.
Yeah.
But my issue with Trinity and Raja and Eureka's is all three of them undercut their story by stating the moral of the story in the opening or the title. It's like, as funny as like poop stuff is from Eureka, there was no tension in that story.
Right.
There was no way that the story wasn't ending in she shit herself.
Yeah.
And I think that Alex Mappa gave them really good critiques. Because an example of that with Eureka's is he was like, you're gonna want to hold off on like the potty talk. And Eureka really built to it.
Yeah.
Like she didn't say shit until the end. And even then she said it 2 or 3 times. But the thing is, with all the Trinity opened up with, here's a story about how I got catfished.
Yeah.
So there was no tension in the story. And she really, she was doing more of like a stand-up routine, and she really put in some like comedic elements where she was like crouching and stuff that was fun. But it was all very performative, and I never really got lost in it. And I appreciate the moral that she was trying to imbue it with, but it was very performative, and it felt that way.
I agree. I think I agree across the board. The one that I liked that was funny and like not heartfelt the most was Raja's about her tuck coming undone. That was pretty funny.
It was, and I think she would have done better had she not stumbled right out of the gate.
But that's the thing about Ginger too, is like, I kind of hate it because it's one of those things where it's like, what's your biggest weakness? And it's like, my loyalty, you know? But because they were like, you were too polished. And I was like, what the fuck are we doing here? Do you want this to be professional, or do you want this to be a shit show? Well,
and the thing with Ginger is she's such a performer. And I guess this is, I mean, it sort of makes me think of like Dancing with the Stars, where people are coming in with different skill sets, and it's like they're still going to critique the really accomplished and talented ones. But
I'm not arguing for no critique. It's just like the rest of them were like, you could be a little more professional and polished. And then they were like, Ginger, you were too polished. And I'm just like, what? Can these bitches win?
Well, I liked it because we genuinely didn't know where her story was going.
Yeah.
She started off, even just the starting with like, I tell people I'm from Orlando, but I'm from
Leesburg.
And even just like the little things she sprinkled in about how like in The Wizard of Oz, her favorite was the Wicked Witch of the East.
Yeah.
That whole thing was really intriguing. I went on a journey with her. Yeah. And the same with Kylie, because they asked when Kylie was doing her like rehearsal, they're like, are you a good storyteller? And she was sort of like, no. And then launches into this story. And I was like, yes.
So yes, then. And then they actually told her you're a natural storyteller at the end.
And I do think, again, Alex's advice was really good.
Yeah, he's very good.
He like, she started off with like, I was punished for being feminine, and then I was rewarded with it, is how she, or rather how she ended it. Mm-hmm. And he was like, move that part to the beginning, and then and because I think Carson talked about it, but it was like bold of her to deliver most of it sitting down.
Yeah,
but that made it intimate. And ever since she did Dolly Parton, I think she's like embodied some Dolly. Like she really, I don't know.
And the one guy, Justin Simeon, I think he was like, you made me lean in to hear your story. You grabbed me, and I think that's. Because Michelle, I think either Michelle or one of them was like, I wish you hadn't done the whole thing sitting. And I was like, oh, please. That's like classic Robin Wright in Forrest Gump, just sitting there with the guitar totally naked. It was perfect.
It also was very Kylie. I mean, she's not.
She's not bombastic.
For a showgirl, she's not very showy, you know? Like, also a relatively interesting runway. Mm-hmm. It was fashion fails.
Yeah.
And my favorite part about this was seeing all the different interpretations of that challenge.
Yeah.
Because some took it very literally, some took it very avant-garde. I wanted to show you, and actually here, I'm going to pull it up.
I think I saw what you're going to show me already on
Did
Twitter.
you see Scarlet?
Yeah. But I think Raja's was my favorite.
Raja's was actually just cute. Like, it was actually...
Well, sure, it was also cute.
And I love... She's nailing the purple better than Jan because she's not suffocating us with it.
Well,
because she was in all pink.
It's not her only thing. It's not the only thing she does.
And in particular, her performance, which is something that Ginger excels in, is Ginger not only gives you a look, but she gives you a story.
Yeah.
Because Ginger walked down the entire runway like, with
my bangs. Smoking curling iron.
And
yeah.
And yeah. And she does like all the facial movements and stuff. But Raja was really selling that with like coming out and sort of like clinging to it. And that's where I was getting like the Goldie Hawn and like all of that stuff. And Rue even commented where Rue was like, because that was funny about how like she was barely keeping the look on. But then at the end of the runway and at the end with the judging, when she just stood up, it was actually even somehow just like a cute jumpsuit.
Yeah, like a good thing. Yeah.
And Rue was like, "This is gorgeous. Did you make it?" And she was like, "I've made everything that I've worn."
Yeah.
So this showing for Raja, I never would have guessed that she would be this good. That the growth, the evolution. I don't know. I've been really impressed. And this is also cutting to Untucked and some of the stuff after. They're just all friends at this point.
I know, it's so nice.
And you know what? I don't mind a little bit of drama, but I overwhelmingly prefer when they like and respect each other.
Yeah, definitely.
Trinity's was good, but it was it was a very literal interpretation.
Well, it was pageanty again, and that's
gorgeous. She
got the critique where it was like, but it looks totally perfect and great from the front. You have to turn around before we can see what's wrong, and that's a problem.
I don't think it's a problem. I just think it wasn't the most creative, or it wasn't the most eye catching. And Eureka did really well. I honestly probably would have voted Raja
as the winner
of the runway.
Oh, okay,
but not the. No, sure. I would have voted Ginger.
Sure. Yeah.
But Eureka's was really good, and I do like the embarrassment of riches Eureka gave us.
Yeah.
She was windswept. She had a stain.
One of her pieces of hair came out like cotton candy.
She had pit stains. She had the dress was tucked into the underwear.
Yeah.
She had the toilet paper. So all of that was actually it
was so much, yeah.
Very good. Oh, and Kylie, the corn dog. See, the thing is,
it's not a fashion faux pas.
No.
You just dripped sauce on yourself.
It like if the category was like food court, then I would have been like, oh my God, that was fantastic.
County fair.
She had to sort of explain that she had like spilled. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. Although her pulling the corn dogs.
Oh my God. So funny.
Real edible corn dogs.
She did eat one.
So Eureka won. Like I said, it was pretty stunty. Not that it was undeserved, but it was relatively stunty. And they pretended to deliberate.
Yeah.
It was they lip synced. Eureka lip synced against Jada Essence Hall in
amazing,
fabulous harem pants, and it was very, very Salome, the dance of the seven veils, to Good Golly Miss Molly, and
also hilarious. A hilarious choice.
Eureka's clown.
Amazing. Oh my God, it was so funny.
It was so fun. We like guffawed when she came out.
That's a look, and she worked it.
And then she revealed it into like a harlequin. It was really nice, but Rue called a tie, which meant that that
was the stuntiest part of this episode.
Well, because both Eureka and Jada had to pull their lipstick, and both would go home. So if they had picked someone different, we were going to lose two people.
Yeah.
But as it was, they both had picked Trinity, and she was really great. She was very gracious. Like I said, she was very frustrated this whole episode. Yeah. Again, I understand it, but also it just like anytime they cut to her, she was in her head. She was just kind of scowling or
kind of a stink face the whole time.
And I am so happy that in Untucked, when she was leaving, that she was like, it really hurts, but if we're being fair, it's my turn to go. And if anything, she seemed a little bit relieved, like a little bit set free. And as we've been saying sort of this whole, season, there's no shame in coming in fourth. I mean, she put on a good show.
Yeah. It's great. She's fine. It's really good. Also, I would I'm with you. If I were her, I would claim top 4.
Oh yeah, well she made it to
because
top 4.
she was.
Yeah,
and then they like did a shenanigan.
So all in all, I think it was a fun episode. Apparently next week is the finale.
Yeah.
I am going to be traveling, so we're going to cover it, but we're going to be a few days late. Sorry. Saturday or probably Sunday we'll have, but
we'll make it.
Yeah. So be on the lookout for that and let us know who are you rooting for? Who are you rooting for?
I don't know. A 4-way tie. No,
I wouldn't put it past
no. Raja or Kylie, I think.
So who do you want to win?
Raja or Kylie?
Who do you think's gonna win?
Ginger.
Okay. I'm rooting for again Raja or Kylie, but I would pick Kylie. I think Ginger's gonna win.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we'll see. In about a week.
Like and subscribe. Donate.
Yes. Monies, please.
Patreon. We finally did implement a...
Yeah, we've got a tip jar, Cash App, and Venmo at So I'm Watching, $, So I'm Watching.
So if you like what we're doing.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.